Lives of Vlad and his distressed mistress. Where will they go? What will they do? All of that and more happening now.
Clara, I tell you, the baby isn't mine. The baby isn't mine.
Throughout all the Five Nights at Freddy's games, it's been made pretty clear by Scott that he leaves clues open-ended, waiting years to finally resolve the mysteries that he creates. In some cases, like the box, they never received answers. But I believe that one of these mysteries will be unwound in Secret of the Mimic. This of course being the mystery of Clara, the baby isn't mine. I suspect the big reveal will be that William Afton's baby isn't his own, because he kidnapped Edwin's son and raised him as his own. The books and games share a different continuity in my opinion. A big reason for this is that in the story, The Mimic, Edwin, shortly after programming the Mimic 1 AI, has the idea to reuse this program for his other products, but he never has the time to follow through on this idea and implement it. But in the new teasers Steelwool are posting, we can clearly see that Edwin has already implemented the Mimic 1 AI into lots of his products. This being especially obvious in the Stay Up Latte commercial, as the coffee pot says, "I know better than you do, I am always watching and learning." So, to keep Secret of the Mimic story a surprise, I theorise that they will both be set in different continuities, but will have overlapping story elements. So in simpler terms, Secret of the Mimic will be the best of both worlds for Tale Games and non-Tale Games believers. "Clara, the baby isn't mine," is a quote from the end nights of such a location that has eluded us in the years since its release. But what if Steelwool have cleverly reused this line and made it relevant to the story of the upcoming game? So far, all of what we know about Edwin and David comes from the books. To sum it up, Edwin Murray is employed by Fazbear Entertainment to turn their old mascot costumes into fully animated robots, or commonly known as animatronics. Edwin has an intensive background in robotics and overall is a highly skilled inventor, with him making a robotic vacuum cleaner as his first invention. The product was highly received, allowing him to open his very own business. He bought a large factory and turned it into his workshop where he would make many more advanced inventions. Alongside his successful business, Edwin married a woman called Fiona, and they have a nice child together. His name is David, but unfortunately something went so wrong and she passed away sadly in childbirth. With the passing of his wife, he had to sell his house and move into the factory with his son, and now, working alone, he had no time to spend with David. He felt terrible about this, so he put his robotic skills to use and made a life-size robot named Mimic to play with his son. This robot was incredible. It watches, mimics and learns the behaviours of what it sees. So the Mimic would play catch with David. It mimics the way David signals for ice cream, and even pretends to hold a plushie the same way Edwin's son did. David and the Mimic even made a tiger plush together. However, one day Edwin noticed that there was a draft in the factory. He shouted his son to make sure he was okay, but when he heard no reply he feared the worst. When he had gone to find him, he saw the large factory doors wide open. That must have been what was creating such a large draft. Going outside, he saw what he had feared the most. David's ball rolled onto the road along with David when a white van would sadly hit him. Edwin, of course, was engulfed in sadness, so when he saw the Mimic still mimicking his son, he was enraged. So angry in fact that he beat the Mimic up with a pipe, showing the Mimic violence for the first time, something that it would soon not forget. This, however, is where my theory differs from the book. In the FNAF movie, we can see that William Afton kidnaps Garrett from Mike, which is strange as this is the only time where William doesn't outright kill his victim. Also, in the fourth closet, we learn that the baby was actually the last Charlie bot before William stole her. This could be seen as kidnapping from a certain point of view. So where am I going here? William seems to have a repeated pattern of kidnapping, and in this case he kidnaps Baby and uses her for his own goals like a puppet. This idea of kidnapping has a recurring theme by Scott that no one else has really talked about, but it's there nonetheless. Clara, "The baby isn't mine," is a quote from Sister Location that has never really made all too much sense to us, until now. If William Afton kidnaps someone and pretends it's his own child, the baby is not his. Clara, "The baby is not mine because I kidnapped them." Now, going back to Secret of the Mimic, I believe the story will differ from the book when David gets hit by the car. Instead, I theorise that William Afton will pull up in his car like he does when he kills Charlie and kidnap David, Edwin's son, paralleling the movie. This would drive Edwin to the point of insanity, where he would beat up the Mimic and teach it violence for the first time. This would also mean that one of William's sons is not his. With Secret of the Mimic being in 1979, it would not make much sense to be Michael, who would be a teenager in 1983. So this would most likely be the crying child. In the story, David is 4 years old, so by 1983 this would make him 7. This aligns perfectly with the crying child's age in the FNAF 4 minigames, who is by the majority of the fans also named David. This was made popular by the awesome Hyperdroid. Do I think Scott would name 2 important characters the same name? No, especially not in this case. Scott likes to reuse names, but only when it's appropriate. For example, he would not name another lead character William or Henry, but would name multiple characters Jeremy, as this doesn't really cause too much problems with the story, whereas multiple lead characters with the same name would. So I theorise that they are both called David because in Secret of the Mimic they will both be revealed to be the same character. In the books, William is seen many times to obsess over Henry's perfect family and most likely kills his daughter Charlotte Emily to bring him down, in William's eyes making them even though Henry never did anything wrong. So I theorise that in Secret of the Mimic, William will be jealous of Edwin's perfect son and in a wild act of jealousy would kidnap David, Edwin's son, to make them even. So now the quote, "Clara, the baby isn't mine," makes perfect sense and ties the old games to the new games in a clever way. What do you all think about this theory? Do you believe it? Or if not, please let me know why in the comments below. I guess all we have to do is wait and see. Secret of the Mimic releases in just a few days, so we will see then. Have fun playing Secret of the Mimic, guys, and have an awesome day. Thank you, and bye!
Yes, we did it! It's so low! No! Ah!
Someone's there. The power goes down so fast.
No!
Freddy's there.
Too far back. Come on. Yes! We are truly lost in space. I don't think we're ever getting back. Oh! Baldy's coming! Run! Run, run, run! I can't remember which way he comes from. It's down there.